Haki is a unique power system that's very different from your typical shonen. There's armament, observation, and the topic of this video being Conquerors Haki. Now there are many different layers of each form of Haki. For example, armament Haki. Putting it in the simplest of terms, armament Haki is like armor. The way this works is in defensive and offensive ways. Even advanced armament works in this fashion. Its advanced offense being able to do internal damage, bypassing others' durability, and its advanced defense being able to block attacks without the user even touching it, negating the damage entirely. Same thing goes for observation Haki. Putting in the simplest terms, observation Haki is how you observe things. It works for sensory and perception. With this, they perceive incoming attacks and can sense individuals around them. They can also sense the emotions of certain individuals. Observation Haki can actually do a lot of things. The advancement being future sight, being able to see what your opponent will do and hear what they will say before they even get the chance. Now, for Conquerors Haki. Conquerors Haki is the most mysterious Haki to completely figure out, which is fitting because it's the most rare power in One Piece. In its base, having the ability to knock out opponents by their mere presence alone, depending on how weak the opponent's will is, and the advanced version so far being shown to increase the damage of their attacks when coated with Conquerors. Now from this point on, I'm going to get into the more theoretical side of this video. I believe that Conquerors Haki, to put in the simplest of terms, is to conquer your opponent. Now I know that sounds obvious. However, similar to how armament Haki had a focus on offense and defense, and how observation had a focus on sensory and perception, I believe that Conquerors Haki has a focus on amplification and nullification. There's a reason why this also goes by King's Haki. Just like how a king exalts himself above others by amplifying himself or nullifying others. The coding of attacks are a great example of amplification because the attack damage is being amplified. Take for example the first time Kaido used Thunder Bago on Luffy, or the one time Big Mom used a Conqueror's coded attack on page 1. Both of these attacks were one-shot attacks. Heck, even Shanks one-shot Kid. But also, the distance of attack with Ryo seemed to also be amplified through the use of advanced Conquerors Haki. Take Garp's Galaxy Impact for example. Probably the best example of amplification of distance of attack in the entire series so far. Then there's the nullification side of things. We've seen the nullification part the most actually. The base form of Conquerors Haki has shown this time and time again. Whenever Conquerors Haki is released to weaker opponents, it intimidates them, nullifying their will to fight, and sometimes outright knocks them out. There is, however, a deeper layer to both the amplification and nullification. Do you all remember when we were told that Shanks was capable of completely cutting off someone's future sight because of how strong his Conquerors was? Does this not count as a form of nullification? And now, how about the amplification side? Funny thing is, unlike future sight nullification, we've actually seen this new amplification in the story, and many of you may already know what I'm talking about. But the best example of this new amplification actually comes from Big Mom. During Whole Cake Island, Capone Beige mentioned that Big Mom had abnormally hard skin and that he only saw her bleed once. That was when Mother Caramel's photo dropped and Big Mom expelled Conquerors Haki. After that, she passed out and scraped her knee, and that's when she bled. Very interesting that Big Mom's tough skin was directly connected to Conquerors Haki. That's right, I'm saying another form of Conquerors amplification is increased durability. Take Kaido for example. He had tough skin too. Is there any wonder why out of everything, Conquerors Haki was the key to defeating Kaido? Yes, other things such as Ryo and internal damage attacks did harm him, but he also said those attacks were too shallow. But it was the Conqueror's coded attacks that were strong enough. And it's also possible that Luffy had already gotten a taste of this durability. Don't you think it's funny how before Luffy started using advanced Conquerors, that every time he got hit by Conqueror's coded attack from Kaido, he would be knocked out in an instant. But after he started infusing Conquerors throughout his body, he started taking stronger variants of the Thunder Bagua, and he stayed up to fight. Some could argue in Gear 5 he has more durability in that state, and that's probably true because Gear 5 can pretty much do whatever it wants. But what about before Gear 5? What about when he was in Gear 4 and in base form taking drunken Bagua attacks? How do you explain that? Well, this is my explanation for it. That Conquerors Haki played a part in it. Now there may be some questions like, well, if Conquerors grants durability, then why did Shanks get his arm taken off by a Sea King? And my answer to that is, I have no idea. Honestly, I don't really know what Shanks be doing sometimes, but like, why didn't he even use armament? Like, I don't get it. However, even with the Shanks moment, I would still say Conquerors Haki is represented as amplification and nullification. It's amplification, being increased attack power and durability, and it's nullification, being intimidating your opponent and nullifying future sight. But that's just my theory. What did you think about the theory? Was it good? Was it decent? Was it absolute trash? Let me know what you think in the comments section. And make sure you like and subscribe while you're at it. Come and join the Vagabond's journey. I'm Vagabond Kana, and with all that being said, Vagabond gone.